Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Snakebite. We have a lot to cover today, from men's and women's basketball to the track and into the pool. A lot to cover. Let's roll that intro first. The women's basketball team is continuing their winning ways, extending their win streak to 3, with a dominant 88-54 win over Florida Tech, sweeping them in the season series. Before their dominant win over the Panthers, the Mocs took on Rollins College, where the Mocs triumphed thanks to a huge 20-point game from Catalina Ion and 15-point game from Gianna Voss. Both totals were career highs. At the start of the Rollins matchup, the Mocs struggled to slow down the Rollins rebounding attack early until Ion was thrown into the game, and once she was on the hardwood, the Tars struggled to slow her down. After coming in the first quarter, Ion made 5 straight threes from the first through third quarters, helping propel the Mocs offense. We also saw much improved rebounding from Ion, handling the Rollins bigs with help from the disruption brought by the Mocs wings and guards, who racked up 9 steals throughout the game. The ability of the Mocs to get points off turnovers, score 42 points off the bench, and hit clutch free throws allowed the Mocs to pull off the 7-point win. I had the chance to talk to Ion after the win, and this is what she had to say.
So, Kat, 20 points today, 15 against St. Leo. That's 35 over the last 2 games. You scored 38 at Wright State before you came here. What's it been like to be on one the last 2 games, shooting it inside and out?
It's all about confidence. I feel like I haven't shot well in the past 4 games or 2 games before this. And it's all about my teammates. They all support me. They hype me up every time. We hype each other every time, and we just trust in each other. So I feel they trusted me to pass today. They passed to me and just did my job. My job was to score today. So.
And part of your job today was also to rebound. You did a really good job boxing out in this game. 6 defensive rebounds. That's 1 under your career high for overall rebounds. What went into that today?
Since the season started, the coaches challenged me to rebound more, and I feel like the past week during the practice I went hard in boxing and rebounding, so I just put the work in and trust the process, I feel like.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kat.
Thank you.
Back to you, Jim.
Florida Southern carried their offense over into their matchup in Melbourne against Florida Tech, and they got things going, scoring 27 first quarter points, which was the most of 2025 and the second most all season, only behind the 37 they had in the 80-point win over Trinity College. In this matchup, there wasn't an offensive explosion from one player, but instead from the entire team, with 7 Mocs scoring in the first quarter, and in the whole game, 4 scored double figures, with 11 finding the bottom of the net. The win over Florida Tech was one where the Mocs, in the words of Reagan White earlier this year, put the pieces of the puzzle together, scoring 28 in the third, which was also their most points in any quarter since playing Trinity, and this was their 10th straight win over Tech, and the most points scored in an SSC game since their 89-67 win over PBA December 4th of 2021. The Mocs will take on, at the time of this recording, the number 24 nationally ranked University of Tampa Spartans, who the Mocs fell in a heartbreaker to 84-78 in Tampa, and they'll play tomorrow night at home at 5:30.
The number 20 men's basketball team took on Rollins this past week and got back on track after their 2-game skid with a 98-82 win. In that matchup, the Mocs rallied with their rebounding efforts in the second half, forcing Rollins to attack inside on the Mocs shot blockers as the Mocs eliminated second chance opportunities in the second half for the Tars. The main contributor for the Mocs in this one was Alex Steen, who posted a team-high 21 points and 4 blocks. Throughout the game, the Mocs showed their run and jump offense with monster dunk after monster dunk, with Peyton Gerald putting another opponent on a poster in this one. Gerald did more than just dunk, though, setting up his teammates with 3 assists. He wasn't the only one sharing the rock, as Dominic Denny posted 7 assists and Jaden Booth had 8. After the game, Carl was able to talk to the SSC Defensive Player of the Week.
Rebound, getting stops, and going. We were running, great assist by all these dudes right here, throwing lobs, throwing passes. So, it's a team effort. So I think that was, get it and go. So that's how we play. So nothing new.
And then you guys, nation leader in blocks so far. Your 4th nationally, 4 blocks today. Continue to rack up and climb into the school record books. What went into playing free safety today?
Man, Coach was saying after the past couple games, kind of like just be solid, be there, and I think that's what I did. So, see him come and just wall up and get that out of here.
Thank you, Alex.
Yes, sir.
Back to you, Jim.
The Mocs kept their momentum going into the following game against Florida Tech in an 84-74 win where Alex's team continued to dominate, posting 16 points and 6 blocks in a game defined by the Mocs' stout defense, holding the Panthers to 41% shooting from the field. Dominic Denny also had a big night, scoring a team-high 15 points, which paired well with the 29 Mocs bench points, ultimately propelling the Mocs to the win. The men's team will look to continue their recent success over the University of Tampa as the men have won 8 straight against the Spartans. Tip-off will be at 7:30 at the George Jenkins Fieldhouse and will be streamed on the SSC Digital Network.
The men's and women's track teams traveled up to Gainesville this past weekend to compete in the RAD Collegiate Invitational, where history was continued to be made. The women started the day off on day 1 of competition with Emma Musante setting a new school record in the mile, finishing as the top non-D1 competitor in a blazing 5 minutes and 3 seconds over the mile distance. Grad student Ellie Fluman followed up the record-breaking performance by running 10:25 for the 3K, the 5th fastest time in school history. On the second day of competition, Caitlin Beery shattered the previous indoor 800-meter record by 2 seconds with a time of 2:19. The former freshman record holder also PR'd by 3 seconds thanks to her strong last 400 of the race. The men look to keep it rolling from the previous competitions, and boy, did they, with Andrew Nyland breaking his own freshman mile record in 4 minutes and 12 seconds. When the second day rolled around, fellow freshman Eli Zupa stole the spotlight. Zupa ran the 5K looking to break the 15-minute barrier for the first time, and he more than did that. Zupa ran patiently before putting on a show in the final kilometer en route to running the overall 5K freshman record that has stood for 4 years and the 3rd fastest time ever on the indoor track for the Mocs freshman, becoming the 2nd fastest Moc ever on the indoor track and the fastest freshman over the indoor distance this whole season in NCAA D2 with his blistering time of 14:37. Also in this 3K was Aiden Redmond and Seth Augustinowski, who both broke 15 for the first time in their senior campaigns. Later in the 800-meter race that day, Anthony Matthew and Simon DeVos returned to the track. Both of them ran sub-1:55. Both teams will return to action this weekend with a small group traveling up to Boston, Massachusetts to compete at the John Thomas Terrier Classic, while the rest of the team will travel up to Gainesville to compete at the Legends of Alachua County Invitational.
The number 16 Mocs men's swimming team will have their senior day this Friday against Rollins College in the final regular season of the competition of the year before the SSC Championships on February 12th through the 16th. The women's swim team find themselves ranked number 24 after the January CSCAA Top 25 poll comes out, and like the men, the newly ranked women's team will face off against Rollins College on senior day before competing at the SSC Championships.
The baseball team will start their season this week as they look to turn the page from a somewhat forgettable 2024 campaign. The Mocs were ranked 2nd in the SSC preseason poll in large part due to new coaching staff led by head coach Rick Odette and proven talent from the transfer portal all the way from D1, D2, and JUCO. The new team will be tested on opening day as they will host the University of West Florida, the number 14 team in the country who has made the last 2 regional finals. A successful weekend series against the University of West Florida could help prove that this isn't the baseball team of last year.
Men's lacrosse opened their season ranked number 17 in the country and were selected to come 2nd in the SSC right behind last year's conference champion, the Tampa Spartans. The Mocs will be tested early as they open their season against 3 top 5 ranked teams. They are coming off a pair of scrimmages against D1 competition up at Mercer from last week and will look to get things going February 1st. In the season opener, they will take on number 4 Limestone University at home as the Mocs will look to defeat head coach Marty Ward's alma mater for the first time in program history.
The women's golf team kicked off their new year yesterday with the start of the C-Best Intercollegiate hosted by Jacksonville University, where they're competing against a strong group of D1 and D2 competition. Check FSCMocs.com for results as the competition will be winding up this afternoon. And that'll be it for this week's edition of the Snakebite. Make sure to stay tuned to FSCMocs.com. I have a handful of interviews with some head coaches. Our great friend Tien Ho also got an interview with both tennis coaches. Baseball interview will be coming out soon. The beach volleyball interview is out. They had a great start last year and are looking to get it going this year. And softball will be out soon as well. Can't wait to cover them next week here on the Snakebite.